folks. It's 5:56 a.m. on the 15th day, 3rd month, 2023. My microphone and its heavy spec. There we go. I'm pleased with that. Right. I just had those pressures that we're going to equalize underneath us over here in a high could cause a block here. That's good news for New Zealand. And most of that moisture is going to not come your way. Half it's split and going that way, and half's going to come this way as the low is going to come over and be trapped by this high. It's going to come to Queensland. Not all of it. A lot of it's going to get rained. And I see a move, and I'm going to pronounce it, actually. So let me go to the forecast itself. Or I could just look at this plan for a minute and zoom in. You see this right here? This big mass of moisture? Looks like it's being planned to be rained out at sea. And it is not going to come ashore at all. I can look at the 3s and the 5s, right? And I go to the 10s. Only thing that continued was the tendril. That drop stayed there. It absolutely did. They dropped it, which is great news for New Zealand. That's a geoengineering move used to save lives. So Lord Howe Island and them can squash it, and a beam can hit it in certain areas to kill the storm and all its dynamics and flows. They could drop something warm on the top of it. They could shock it with bombs, boom, 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 that don't nucleate as many condensates or conduct a waveform as well, and just drop it right in the ocean. So that water's going there. And while Lord Howe Island is it's in the sites itself as a nature preserve and all sorts of beautiful animals out there, and a couple bases that I've covered a few times. So right, that's my good news. And now I'm going to roll you a forecast. Doesn't mean you're escaping any on all kinds of water and the rains that are coming after the 5s. But it ain't going to be the big one, this big tendril. It ain't going to be this one. Right, this is the best news I could give you guys. Is how they hit the beams at it. Was when they hit this here, right? It shot the river in 2 directions and down, because it's not a full hard beam. We had one here and we have one here. It guided the storm down to this side, and it induced a quake up here. Yeah, Fiji had a rather large off their coast in the 5s, high 5s, right off the coast here. Because there's a lot of EMF action here. As they back this up, watch the spin happen here. Right, it hit a wall. It had a turn. It's like traffic backing into itself. And that's just steam on. I don't see that being any problem to anybody on these islands over here. Oh, it's going to be a big problem for people out here. Right, that's the birth of a demiser. See how this took a turn? These are the Polynesian islands over here that grow a lot of palm and are very low to the ocean. So I'm very concerned for French Polynesia still. And beaming wise, Australia, you're about to have a saggy time. Your coast road's going to get some action down here as they split the flow with beams. You see that one coming, Chris? Yesterday, Mount Ison kicked on very predictably. I should have some screenshots of this. Right here, when well, this was at like 1 in the afternoon my time yesterday. For these very predictably kicked on to create a heated corridor. That was oh, that's a different one, excuse me. These are just some of my EMF shots from yesterday. So I digress. That was a different kind of work. It's good to get some kind of signal this morning. Let me double check we're running. So we do have some rather large beams that I can be pinpointing where they intersected, where rather large quakes occurred, including over here near exactly where I called it out yesterday. Yeah, on the exact spots. It's not a prediction at all. It's just reading electromagnetic frequency. So that devilish number right there is going to drop in the ocean. Not so good for the animals underneath when all that crap settles on them. Well, you get some really big pockets from those tendrils that they sent across. They originally started way out here. And all this in the tropics, he's coming your way after the 10s. You're not going to miss out on that as they come and gather this and bring this across. I don't see it being full cyclone. That the pressures are just wrong for it to be anything super deep. But you know, when electromagnetic frequency, you could take a pressure that's just a little bit low and put something really high next to it and get the same effect of flow, as it's a numbers game. So when you're looking at the tens here, I'm going to zoom back, way back. You get a big block of high pressure all the way through here. It's just pinning this storm to go in predictable directions. All the flow says high. You're coming here. All across the top and into the far north again, hitting that Townsville corridor. I'm not sure how far down yet. You hear those words yet? But that corridor here I call Townsville corridor between here and the Can. So you're going to see some action coming. And this is a lot. And it's going to be directed right at you. That's a lot of water in just this. That can be manipulated on the 10 to move differently. But there's only two places it can go. They hit a beam here. This backs into this system here and comes over the top of Fiji and gives them a bath. And then proceeds across the Pacific in an easterly direction. And everything from the water from this side of this over comes your way, while more stuff is coming down here. And as they meet in the middle, where you at, I see big problems when these radars, if they stay off. If they're on glitching away, which I don't see as a glitch, it's going to hold the moisture in very predictable corridors. And so as we get closer to that event, we'll have more of an idea of what's going to go on with that. But it looks to me like a Fubario for the far north, and well, your highways ain't looking like they're going to have much fun either. So I'm going to roll what they say is going to happen today, right? So to do this, you have beamings going on here, directing particular flows. Mount Ice will be on here, but not all the way there. That one just has to be down low, doing little bits, and probably a V beam going in that direction to achieve this effect. Whoops, I just shot you somewhere across the world. Hey, Madagascar, oh my God. I told you they was getting it. Well, I'll just give you a little quick. See this? 3-day totals. This is their breadbasket of Mozambique. They'd already hit this area here last week. And this is the breadbasket. This is harvest time. This is terribleness is going on because of the geoengineers. So somebody was asking about that. So there you go. I'll zip back over to Australia. I didn't plan to do that. That was just oneness answering your question for you. I don't know a way to put that. So the heavy areas of targeting seem to be the Tari again, through the Newcastle corridor. Wetness. That's on the threes. Okay? And it looks like you got a break. And then nothing moved. Nothing changed. Just more wetness. As these tendrils work their way over us in a very slow manner, too, I gotta say. That thing has been moving very slowly across your country. And the Chem vibes have been just relentless. The fireworks show is beyond which what a $250,000 price is to buy a sunny day on your wedding, which I think should be outlawed. That needs to be outlawed. The buying of a weather event just for yourself is as selfish as it gets, and no. And so I would like to see some legal things happen, laws change to prevent such corporations or private businesses from taking sunshine from the animals and the trees in your garden. If I have to do it in a selfish way, and making you have to turn your heat on if it got cold, or maybe your air conditioning if it was too hot. And who knows if these companies are being hired by private individuals to do nefariousnesses. So this whole thing is the buying of weather, and it is possible. I'm sure somebody will pop a link to something in the chat up there. No, I might even click it. And I'll make that a different show. For right now, I'm just really happy to get a screen that's running. So you see what they got playing here. Shaggy travel times on the fives. Then a break, and then there's some nasties coming your way to the far north. With the pressures like this, the low that forms off this coke's going to kick this back in. So some of this moisture could actually come back in to haunt you here in about 2 weeks. Yeah, 12, 14 days. That actually is quite possible. Put a bubble up like this with the cold air toward New Zealand. It's not all that low. That low could, that high, I mean, could go away quickly. And suddenly you got a corridor right through here. So I'm going to have to watch this. This is a very volatile situation. The lowest one I seen was down here. Well, it was yesterday. Always determine where on the planet is your lowest pressure per hemisphere. I had to say that, per hemisphere. Looks like we're over here. Everything's leaning this way. See the lean? So there's your gangster. Yeah, they're all giving a gangster lean, man, toward the lowest pressure number. And the big difference is, look at these winds out here. You're going to have some very high surf. This kind of a corridor setup sends a second round to the Polynesian islands over there. It's about 3 weeks away. Yeah, this is what it should be. For read a pressure map like that and tell me what it's going to be the next day. You should be, anybody should be able to do that. That's a meteorologist. And the fact that they don't is what's bothering me the most. How much warning they could have gave these people over here so they could have prepared and not lost everything. So shame on you, Bureau of Morons, provider of misinformation to people, are waiting too long, too worried about being wrong. So you're not doing right thing. Well, I'll do the right thing. Hey, Lismore, how you doing? Oh, you got a bunch of bombs going off on you. Hey, Mulaney, have some cheese. Boom! Big chem bomb over the Schilling's house. Yay, yeah. Higgins, look, got a chem bomb over your house here. So maybe you moved up by now with all that money you made this year. Giving forecast after I give mine. Look at the bombs going off. Look at the microwaves boiling on the low deck with bombs going off inside the matrix of them. What a fucking shame. See this four? See the stripes? See the crap going over the top of my Great Barrier Reef? This is all fallout. It fell out over these beautiful, beautiful islands. What a fucking shame. I have some of my whales out here. It's no fluke that the storms follow the chem bombs, that's for sure. And well, that's unacceptable to do this to any animals out here, taking their sunshine away. You don't think they don't want to get a tan too? Harvard on the top, seeing baby whale shark washing up on shore after big storms and lots of EMF. This is unacceptable. The gentle giants are going away. Whether it be a tree whose heartbeat few people have learned to listen for, or whether it's the silenced heartbeat of a baby whale shark. And the shame is ours as a species to allow this to continue. And it is shameful, absolutely shameful, to allow this country, and your country, and mine, to be continually toxified in the skies with fallout going into organic gardens of people that never intended to consume heavy metals and probably don't even like to listen to it, some of them. I don't know why. Because for whom the bell tolls and the bombs marching on, bomb, bomb, bomb. Don't tread on me. So be it. Settle the score to the club. Hey, fuck having peace with war. Why is everything got to be a war, leaving a grudge? You know what? Just stop, and doing stuff doesn't take a war to stop. It just takes giving a fuck. It just takes empathy, working the shoes of the whale shark, so to speak, or flipping the fins. And if a whale could flip you a fin in the air, is it always a kind thing it's doing? Maybe it's trying to give you the finger when they come up like that, for bothering with your motorboats while they got their bubbies around. And scars on a whale back is a sad thing to see. Almost as sad as this the shit state in your sky right here. Look at that crap. Boom, boom, boom! Went the plumes over the top of you. And away went your sunshine, and your skin starts burning from a chemical burn. We got a gray alien looking bomb over there. That was a special firework that's made in China. There we go. China. Oh, God, may that guy not run again. Look at the step sign here, and it needs to cease with the big black dot in the center. Something is deploying. I'm going backwards in 10-minute jumps. It wasn't there. Now, boom! First deployments, and they're nucleating, and they're fizzing out, and they're doing their bit, and it's going, and it's going, and they're shooting something else out back toward the center point here, the center of the plate, and it shoots out, boom, 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 boom. So we have something right here, square going on, boom. Another cluster of knuckles right there, the ass knuckles, right in the kisser to Mother Earth, and another bomb going off over here, over the town of, between Winton and Mount Isa, fueling what might be a storm. Has a storm fueled here? Between Winton and Mount Isa. Yeah, there's storms fueling here. It's all from the chem bombs. If they stop doing that, that's that line right here, right around the creek. Bomb the creek, swell the streams to kill the dreams. This is unacceptable, and it's proof to me that these chem bombs here have fueled these storms that you're seeing popping up all over, these little chem bomb storms, all the way from the north on down. Chem bomb storms. Chem bomb storms. Chem bomb storms, impossible to warn, because you don't know when they're going to do it. Wow. I look at weather plans and see that they have made these individual cells of storms that could be tornadic or drop hail very predictably on top of you, being manipulated with electromagnetic frequency. Yeah, these had to go off after this to flow. A lot of lightning kicking off here where there was no cloud. So they're bombing you. And this over here is, let's see if we can find you here. Well, let's just go look at the town of, Springshire. Alright, Springshire. This is for Springshire. This is this place. I had a friend that used to talk like that. I guess this is could be a difficult challenge. I don't know your map that damn good. Here, I'll zoom out. Coordinate this. Oh, it's just south to Emerald. That I can do. Hello, Emerald. So, where's this chem bombs? Absolutely. There's not a doubt. Even right here. Okay, this cluster of storms that's coming along. I'm going to go back to the 4 hours past. Ain't much there, huh? They just, that square here, this square here. Right, and then the bombs are going to go off. Dun, 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 boom, 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 boom. Triangle formation. Dun, 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 boom, 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 and plume in all your boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Have some hail right now. Boom, boom, boom. Something's stationary. You just keep putting something out. New bombs at the end. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, boom. Don't tread on me. Look at this square. My God, if this is in self-defense mode now, never will be. You just roll over, put your head in the sand like a good old ostrich with your bum in the air, and here it comes. It's just another chem bomb storm. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, who's to blame? We are. But we allow this to happen. Allow. If somebody was over your breakfast table spraying a bunch of shit like this that you're using outside, what would you do? When you just walked by and did that randomly, what would you do? They're doing it, so what you gonna do? The dirty Sanchez, right across the outback. Outback. Boom! That's not the peace pipe right there, folks. That's not the peace pipe. These are chem bombs. Look at this here, the crab. This is really bothers me. This is really sad to see that we've have such disregard for everything out here, that we will toxify the land with chemicals from the periodic table that had to be processed to be made, and Mother Earth did not want out here on her own. They had to be encapsulated with other things to do what Mother Earth wanted, and we took the alumina out of things and put them into its purest form and spray it down on back on the top of us. Have a big barrier minima and from the barium and the strontium fallout. Yeah, giving you the blues. Look at this shit here. That's not Dino. That's a chem bomb deployment here going across. That's sickness mixed. That's not the healthiest stuff. That's sneezable stuff. Look at this here. You got the compass and square. Or is that a slice of pizza for the perverts club? Who knows? It was as bad as that Robbie Williams interview. He's with a bunch of kids. One's talking about his dad's watch. He says, well, get lost in the park. I'll give you a new one. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe hearing that stuff. That's why I put it up on my wall and says, see it? That's the leariest thing I ever seen. My God. Him and Sam Smith must share fucking chalet somewhere or own a pizza place. Boom! Look at that damn explosion. Look at this shit going out. I hear him moving around upstairs. So this forecast might be over fairly soon. Let me do this real quick. I knew it wouldn't last with all my booming and plumings. Hey, they had it coming. This is a very dangerous line of storms here. And I had to get to this. You see this fueling up over here, Caloundra and that? And it's going to continue to be like that. All the electrics are there. So you've got a rough time over here, Caloundra, over here, the Point of Bribey up there. So we will be very vigilant to this dangerous, dangerous storm that's going to be impacting the coastline here today. All of it being done compliments of the bombers. Nothing to see here, is there? You can see where it started. You can see where the sky sharded. Boom, boom, boom there. See that one there? The Omega. Well, it needs to end. It needs to be the Omega of it all. Because this chem bombs here, even that fueling towards this, it should have floated away, but it didn't. It stayed there because it's meant to. It stayed there because somebody called Bill Gates in a Harvard club are funding an experimental program that's going right over the top of you right now. Their experiment is on you. That's human experimentation. It's animal experimentation. And it's forestry experimentation. It's experimenting on Mother Earth herself. And there should never, ever be an experiment on Mother Earth herself. That kills her spirit. And all the stuff that lives upon her. If it's dis-ease, will Mother Earth not be dis-ease? Now, the vibe of this planet is so toxic from the few that it's time for the many to lift their hearts and their voices up as one and say, we are here, we are here, we are here, and we care. And all we want is clean air. Big love.